Hey guys, today we are doing a recipe review for the famous Magnolia Bakery banana pudding found in New York City. Folks line up around the block from near and far to try this banana pudding, so I decided let's go ahead and make it for ourselves in home without having to book a trip to NYC. As always, all of the ingredients and the featured recipe will be included in the caption of this video, so for now, just sit back, relax, and follow along. Starting out in our stand mixer, we're gonna go ahead and mix some evaporated milk with some ice cold water. Mixing the sweetened condensed milk and the ice water only takes about a minute. Really, the heavy lifting here is just trying to get all of the sweetened condensed milk out of the can. You can also feel free to use a hand mixer here, whatever you have available to you. I just use my KitchenAid mixer because that's what's easiest for me. We're gonna go ahead and mix that on a level 2 for a minute. You'll notice once I go up to a level 4, everything starts splattering everywhere. So definitely make sure you use some caution and beat on a lower setting. Once you start to see a gentle foam form, you'll know that the ingredients are combined. This next step is completely optional, but I had some banana cream flavored extract, so I added a couple drops to the wet mixture. Totally optional, but I really wanted to amp up that banana flavor. Moving on to the fun part, we're gonna go ahead and add in our Jello vanilla pudding mix. Now I grabbed the big box, so per normal, I did have to use my scale and cut down that amount of ingredients to the exact amount that I needed. If you just buy a 3.4 ounce box of Jello pudding mix, you can completely skip this step. Once you have that vanilla pudding ready to go, you're just gonna turn your mixer on to a low setting and combine the wet ingredients with the Jello pudding mixture. Want to mix the ingredients for about 2 minutes because once you're done, you're going to move the ingredients over into a bowl that you're going to cover and refrigerate until set or overnight. Making this recipe same day, it will take about 3 to 4 hours for the ingredients to set in the fridge, so just keep that in mind. While our Jello pudding mix is chilling, we can go ahead and start making the whipped cream that we're going to later on fold right into that Jello pudding mix. I am using my stand mixer for this, but of course, again, you are more than welcome to use your hand mixer or use a whisk by hand. I don't necessarily recommend that though, because this needs to beat until stiff peaks form, and that can take some time. So if you are using a stand mixer like me, you're going to want to whisk on medium speed. While the whipped cream is mixing up, I did go ahead and cut up 3 large bananas in 1/2-inch slices. You can use as many or as little bananas as you'd like. You can also see that our pudding mix is perfectly set and ready to go. It's like a Dairy Queen blizzard. If I went ahead and put that over top of my head, nothing would come out of that bowl, which is exactly how we want it. Rest assured, I'm not going to be tipping that pudding bowl over my head anytime soon. We're also going to need some vanilla wafers. You can use name brand or store brand. I just use store brand from my local grocery store. And I also picked up these containers to store the pudding on Amazon. I'll make sure to link those below. Now it's time to take a look at our whipped cream and see if those stiff peaks have formed. If you've already seen my tiramisu cookie recipe, you'll remember how we check for stiff peaks, but as a reminder, you're going to take the whisk off of the mixer, move it around the bottom of the bowl in a circular motion, and tip it upside down to see if stiff peaks form on the top of the whisk. Always make sure to use a gentle hand when you're scraping the whisk around the bottom of the bowl. We don't want to ruin or deflate any of that air that we've added into our whipped cream. Now it's time to go ahead and fold that pudding mix directly into our whipped cream. You're going to keep the mixer on a stir or very low setting, and a little bit at a time, you're just going to take that pudding and drop it right into the whipped cream mixture until combined. You'll know the mixture is fully combined once it comes out smooth, and you'll also notice that it changes from a white whipped cream color and very yellow pudding color into this really nice soft buttery yellow. Like many of the other recipes I review or try, I always like to take a spoon every once in a while, or in this case a spatula, and just scrape down the sides of the bowl. I really just want to make sure that everything is nicely combined and the whisk didn't miss any of the ingredients during mixing. All right, y'all, we've made it to the most fun part of this recipe, and that's the construction of the banana pudding. You're going to take those containers and add a nice layer of pudding at the very bottom of the container. You're going to follow up with some vanilla wafers and bananas, assembling until your container is almost full. And this part of the recipe is really choose your own adventure. You can add as many or as little vanilla wafers as you want. The only thing I will say is that the vanilla wafers do absorb a lot of that liquid and get nice and chewy and soft, and that's pretty standard in a banana pudding recipe. So I wouldn't skimp on the vanilla wafers. If you're not a vanilla wafer fan, you also could give graham crackers a try, whether they're cinnamon or honey or biscuits, whatever you think works the best for you. In your recipe, you can customize it as much as you'd like. Same thing with the bananas, those are really 100% optional. But if you're trying to make traditional banana pudding and stick to the Magnolia recipe, you're gonna wanna use those vanilla wafers as well as those slices of bananas. Once we've added that final layer of pudding on the top, I do go ahead and just crush up some vanilla wafers and tuck those onto the top before popping the lid back on. Now that the banana pudding is constructed, you are going to want to go ahead and pop that into the fridge. I popped this in overnight. I wanted to give some time for the vanilla wafers to absorb all of that delicious pudding whipped cream mix, and it was worth it. So you can see what this looks like. Oof. This looks so good. You can see the bananas and the wafers are all soft. Look at it go. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, this could get you in trouble. It is so good. Oh my gosh. This is so easy. Honestly, of any of the recipes I have ever done, this is the easiest one yet. It's very accessible for anyone to try. You can hand do it. You can use mixing ingredients. I'm kind of speechless right now. This is so incredibly good. Highly recommend giving this one a try. As always, this is Jillian from Maxine Makes Magic, and I hope you have a magical day.